Lijepo mi je u Zagrebu, ali nakon 3 godine želim neku promjenu. Moram učit, dosta mi je više ove semiotike i ovih seminara i svih stvari koje imamo za napraviti. Kad bi bar mogla otići na neku razmjenu. Pa mogla bi u Francusku.
J'imagine la carte de la France avec les choses typiques de chaque région. Par exemple, là, je vois Paris avec la tour Eiffel et une baguette. Je vois la Bretagne avec le drapeau breton et les crêpes, par exemple. Je vois l'Alsace avec un petit bretzel. Je vois la Corse avec le drapeau corse qui est très typique. Nice avec des parfums, avec des fleurs, de la lavande. Je vois Bordeaux avec du vin. Plus au sud, Biarritz avec le surf. Voilà.
Something that is typically French is the secularism. Like in high school or in college and primary school, we don't wear religious sign like cross, kippa or hijab, and that's something that foreign people don't really understand, and they were shocked.
In Paris, like wearing a beret. Beret is not a thing, real thing in France. It's just French don't wear berets. Like other things, like no, we're not everyday well dressed or like fashion, like Chanel, Dior. It's not everyday life for everyday French people.
Je pense qu'une des raisons pour lesquelles les Français font beaucoup la grève, c'est que les Français aiment la liberté. Alors ça, c'est vrai. On aime nos libertés, on aime nos droits. On a l'habitude de défendre nos droits. Je dirais qu'un cliché sur les Français qui est vrai, c'est que les Français se plaignent beaucoup. Ils râlent. Ils ne sont jamais contents. Oh, il fait trop froid. Oh, il fait trop chaud. Oh, il y a trop de voitures. Il y a toujours quelque chose de négatif.
In France is like dividing a lot of people actually politically. At the start of his presidency, Emmanuel Macron said that it was a crime against humanity. Prime Minister Philippe who say he didn't consider it like a crime against humanity. So it's like really dividing everyone. Even in like schools or that, we're not teaching a lot. Because there is like Algerian war, so for the independence of Algeria, there was like torture, assassinates, a lot of things, even like hiding. It's like since a few years we can talk a little about that, even in media, and so it's creating tension between people and countries. In France, well, there's something called France-Afrique. It's like the link that is still existing between France and colonia in Africa. For example, in French museum, you find a lot of things still from Africa. Even like, so you have like Paris, you have like the obelisk. It's a big monument in France, and it's like stolen in Egypt by Napoleon. And like all French presidents have been asked, can you give us it back? And they're like, no, it's French now. It's after colonialism, a lot of people from North Africa immigrate in France. Because France needed to be rebuilt again after the war. Now some people are like, oh, there are too many, but like, yeah, because of history. It's really touchy subject in France. Of course, French people love the French language, but we would like maybe to talk English more, but our school system is really bad about this. And in France, everything is in French. It's like law to control there is not too much English song at the radio or things like that. And I think, well, since I'm in Erasmus, each time I'm talking to someone, they're like, oh, you're French, like your accent is so hard. I think it's not discouraging, but like, we just accept our faith and like, we're not really good in English.
I'd like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
It's not Damburger, hamburger.
I'm not saying Dimburger. I said I would like to buy a hamburger.
The common words we are saying that in younger people say like wesh, like what, like wesh, what are you doing, wesh, wesh tu fais quoi là? It's like a punctuation word. Bad words always. In France we have some gesture and facial expressions that depict our behavior. Facial expression we are always like when we are exhausting, we are like we want to go home and to sleep. On ronchonne, we are ronchonning and like we are voilà, get out. Gesture expression like we always like moving, speaking, vivant.
Alors que la France, ce qui fait que le français est la 4e langue la plus parlée dans le monde. Donc, pour les Français, dans la tête, à l'origine, on pense qu'il y a beaucoup de... Les personnes qui veulent venir en France peuvent être capables de parler français parce que c'est une langue qui est très commune. Que quand ils ont commencé à parler français, il y a beaucoup d'opportunités qui se sont ouvertes pour eux. C'est une ouverture sur l'intégration dans le pays.
Stereotype about the food are true, like we are eating snails, and we are eating snail like it's normal frog cuisse de grenouille. Okay. I don't eat so much cuisse de grenouille, but it's something that my father and my mother eat often. So the way of life all become speed and quick, but when we are eating with the families or with friends, it's always a huge time. The French meal, the French repas, it's something typically, and I think it's respected because it's always a time when we take time to eat, to speak, and to appreciate what we are eating. My favorite French meal is like bœuf bourguignon, gratin dauphinois is like potatoes with like a lot of cheese, snails. Snail is very good. The oyster is very good also. All the seafood and of course the dessert like the Paris Brest, the croissant, the pain au chocolat, the baguette, la brioche, tarte aux pommes, lot of cheese, lot of sort of cheese. I think cheese is like a part of the history of France. The difference between France and Croatia was multi-parties, like there's not that much diversity in religion or in ethnic people. Like I don't saw a man that was not white in Croatia, and for French people it's weird. The conception of nationalism, like we cannot be have some other origin that European, and you cannot become Croatian if you have some origin like from the Middle East or from Asia, and you cannot become Croatian. But in France, it's normal. Like if you are métis or black, you can be French. But in Croatia, it's not that same view. And for me, in Croatia, you can only be like a white and Catholic person to become Croatian, and that's the conception of citizenship that differs from France and Croatia.
A što je sa mnom? Evo, osobna je možda zbog toga što Hrvatska nema tu kolonizacijsku pozadinu ili povijest, ljudi mogu imati takav dojam izvana, međutim, Hrvatska je itekako dobro i jako otvorena zemlja prema strancima, prema drugačijima, i mislim da to već ja iskusim već 20 godina, više od 20 godina od kad sam u Hrvatskoj, ne samo u smislu posjedovanja hrvatskog državljanstva, nego u smislu obrazovanja, mogućnost zapošljavanja sve do posla na sveučilištu kao sveučilišni profesor. Tako da to je jedna percepcija koja baš ne stoji potpuno.
Je pense que ce qui m'a le plus surpris, c'est peut-être l'accueil, mais aussi la solidarité entre les personnes. Je pense qu'en France, on est un peu plus individuel. Je ne dis pas égoïste, je pense plus individuel. Il y a moins solidarité ou ce contact avec nos voisins. Les Français sont plus diplomates. On a toujours dit que le français, c'était la langue de la diplomatie et je trouve que c'est vrai. Les Français vont toujours trouver un moyen, une façon un peu smooth, un peu délicate de dire quelque chose. Souvent, on dit que les Français sont aussi over polite. Ils sont trop polis. Ils disent beaucoup merci, beaucoup s'il vous plaît, beaucoup pardon. Donc ça, je pense que les Français sont un peu formels. Et les Croates, j'ai remarqué qu'ils étaient peut-être un peu plus directs dans leur façon de parler.
Mija, šaljem ti onu glasovnu vezano za Pariz. Pa čuj, apsolutno odi tamo, nevjerojatan je grad, romantičan, po filmovima. Doduše, malo su mi neobični Francuzi, ne pričaju baš najbolji engleski i zapravo imaju dosta jak naglasak, ali je Pariz i Francuska prekrasna, i vina, i hrana, i kultura, apsolutno sve.
Ni le bien qu'on m'a fait, ni le mal, tout ça m'est bien égal. Non, rien de rien. Non, je ne regrette rien. C'est payé.